Hello, everyone and anyone. I'm your guy, the Canadian guy. So today I just wanted to talk briefly about something that's important to me and that's helped me make some really good changes in my life. It's kind of a touchy subject, but I guarantee you I'm not much of a religious person. But I'm going to talk about religion and how I use it to sort of do things for myself that help me get through the day. It's helped me like today. I was able to have a wonderful day because I understand a lot of the tools that they use and how to use them in everyday life without actually being a religious person per se. So first off, I would just like to say to anybody and everybody who clicked on my video for yesterday, I just want to say thank you. That means like a lot to me. It's nice to see that even though it seems like it's a bit longer than it should be sometimes. So it's just nice to see that someone saw it and decided, yeah, fuck it, I'll click on it. Who knows what this guy has to say? Or maybe you already do know me a little bit, and you thought, oh man, he might have something cool to say. Sorry, it's gonna get dark for a sec. Um, so yeah, first off, I would just like to say that uh, when people think about religion, the first thing that comes to their mind is usually church. And church is not a bad thing. Some people use it to give them purpose, to help them understand their own life better, and it's not for everyone. Definitely not for me. So what I decided was to wait until I was older to sort of understand it a bit better before I really made a decision about how I felt about it. Because I think deep down, I think that there is something bigger than us out there, but also at the same time, I don't necessarily believe that there's a bearded man floating in the sky. So. Um, but what I do enjoy about it, and what does make me excited when I think about it and talk about it, is the tools that they use. Um, and I'm gonna have a 3-part video here for everybody, so that I can sort of explain in depth without going into like a 45-minute long rant about it, and sort of just talk about my favorite 3 keys to what they use to get their message across. So first off would be forgiveness. I think that's one of the most important ones, is learning how to forgive, because it helps you let go of things like anger and move on with your life, and which is very important. Because if you just hold anger your whole life, you're not going to be a happy person. You're gonna be miserable. The second thing I think that's pretty important, and a lot of people don't like this one, is rules. They have a lot of rules in religion, and there's a good reason for it, because we need rules to decide what's right and what's wrong, or what we should be doing or shouldn't be doing, and all that fun stuff. And the final thing that makes me happy when I think about religion is the enlightenment aspect of it. When you finally understand what the meaning of it all is, and what kind of message they're trying to get across to you, and it'll open up your whole world. Like you'll see the trees differently, you'll see the clouds differently. Everything you do in your life is just, it's gonna, if you're thinking about it enough, it's going to change the way your outlook on things. Like just being grateful for things. Little things. It doesn't have to be being grateful for every little piece of whatever you got. But, just being grateful for the sunny day that you have in front of you. It's just a great way to change your mind, because I've known a lot of people that have these really negative mindsets, and it's just sad to see that maybe they just don't know how to do it. And hopefully I can get that across in a pretty simple message. So first off, I'm going to discuss a little bit about what forgiveness means to me, and how I think it's an excellent tool for people to use to get through their life, and try to live better and live happier. People make mistakes. It's tried and true. We're all human. We're all gonna want to dip our finger in the cookie jar and steal a cookie when mom's not looking. It's just, we're inherently sinful. We're gonna make mistakes, and it's okay. Like as long as you're not committing serious offenses. To the most degree, your mistakes are there to teach you to not make those mistakes again, and to learn from them, and to grow and to experience. And you know part of that is not only forgiving others for wronging you, but forgiving yourself for making mistakes. And uh, a lot of people have a hard time because it dwells in their mind. They're trying to go to bed and they can't stop thinking about the time that they you know stole from a kid's backpack when they were in like 4th grade. Like it festers, it never goes away, because they lied and they cheated and they feel bad about it. And one of the biggest things about religion that I like is they teach you to forgive yourself. In maybe not all religions, I don't know how they all work, but I know that the ones that I do, they're more culturally relevant to me, tell you that it's okay to basically tell yourself you're sorry. Um, as long as you learn from it and you try not to make the same mistake again. I mean, if you're just going and doing the same thing that's, you know, making you miserable, you kind of, that might be a psychological thing. You might need to actually talk to someone about that, because that might be a bit deeper. But forgiving others is probably the harder one than forgiving yourself if you learn how to do it properly. But because like it sounds easy to just forgive somebody for wronging you, like saying, "Ah, fuck it," let it fall off your shoulders. You don't care. Um, and then you could say forgiving yourself is probably harder. But I think when it comes down to like the severity of what someone's done to you, that's when it becomes a little more murky, because forgiving, God forbid, let's say, you're a kid and you watch your dad beat your wife or your mother to death, you're not gonna you're not gonna forgive that person. Like, there's not many people that would. But I think one of the biggest things is when you go through life is if you hold on to that, it's you're holding on to it. It's never going to go away if you don't learn to forgive the person for what they did, whether they deserve it or not. And I think that's one thing about religion that I really like to see, is they kind of teach you it's not your fault. You can let it go and you can go on with your day. So it's not eating you up inside. And I've had to use that numerous times, and I'm just learning how to actually use it very well. Like I'm actually going back and just thinking about all the times that I'm mad at people, or I'm mad at myself for whatever I'm doing, and I'm just trying to go, well, it's okay. Like you don't have to be mad about it anymore. And it is better to actually forgive somebody, to their face, obviously. Just saying in your head like, oh, I forgive my dad for being an asshole. It's like, yeah, that kind of works, but the biggest impact is going to be telling that person, because you might want to continue pursuing a relationship with that person, and it's kind of hard to do if you can't get over whatever differences you had. So forgiveness is it's a really powerful tool, and it kind of gets swept aside because as soon as you start talking religion, people shut down. They don't want to talk about it because they're either going to church or they're not. And I know it's a great message to share, and you gotta let people find it for themselves too. You can't just force it on them. And that's one thing I don't like about religion, and why I don't partake, is it kind of has this forceful message like, I'm right, you should do what I say. And for the most part, I guess they kind of are, if they're just trying to give you a happier life, right? Give you fulfillment and meaning. But I think that's all within yourself, and they should be teaching you how to find it, not just going and committing rituals on a Sunday or whatever it is. I don't agree with that. I think when they say that man was made in the image of God, I think what that really means is that God is inside you, and whatever powers that he would have would be something that you have inside your own conscience and your own being, and then you could bring to the light, like in front of you, to other people that could see it. It's important to see it in sort of a way that lets people perceive it the way that makes sense to them, instead of just here's a book that was written 2,000 years ago, we're going to follow it to the letter. And I don't know about all that, but I do know that the messages that they try to get across for the most part are good ones. So yeah, I think I know it's a bit later right now, probably not for everybody, but yeah, I just want to say again, thank you for everybody, anybody and everybody who took a look at what I did yesterday. It was just kind of like saying what I'm doing, what I'm planning on doing, what I think is going to be going on with myself. Still a little up in the air right now, but I'd like to continue doing something like this, because it's I don't know, it's nice. And yeah, like I said, earlier I was talking about success and how important that is too as well. And I just wanted to mention that, like, today, I had a couple moments of it, and and that kind of what brought me to the religion side of things was, I had a moment of success walking home from Tim Hortons getting a coffee, and I looked up at the trees and how blue the sky was, and how there's a couple clouds up there, and it reminded me of about a month or two ago when I had an enlightening experience, and being able to share that would be really cool, and helping other people find the way to get there would be even cooler. If somebody could share with me their experience of enlightenment, it's just be cool to hear because like the way I experienced it was just, it's how I'm gonna finish the three parts that I'm doing. So the first part here is about the forgiveness aspect of it. Quick little bit on that, and then tomorrow I'm gonna have a bit more in depth on the rules because that one's a bit to explain it in a way that the way that I see it is gonna require me to actually like think about what I'm saying because for the most part I'm just kind of like going off of what going off the top of my head almost. Like I do have stuff written down and I do have a plan, but and then yeah, the third one we'll talk about the enlightenment, and if anyone else has anything they want to add before then, maybe your own experience with religion and whether it's good or bad. If you want to talk about it, you know, I might be asleep in the next hour or so, but for the most part, feel free to communicate with me. That's the whole point of this process, is to start open dialogue with everybody and anybody. Because, like I said, I think everybody has a voice and everybody should have an opportunity to be heard. Um, whether it's about religion or whether it's about how you go about your day, or just like all these important aspects of life and experiences that everybody has. Everybody has something to bring to the table, and we could learn from a lot of people if we just got to see more of that. Because I think right now, the industry's going more towards video games and watching movies with other people or whatever, having a comment on whatever movie you're watching. I can't stand that little bubble with the person talking about what you're watching, explaining it to you like you don't already understand. Which whatever, I guess some people like that, but and if you already understand like things the way that I'm seeing them, it'd be cool to know that. So if you do already kind of agree with me, and you've had your own experiences coming to that, let me know, man, or whoever, because like it's just it's cool to meet people that are like-minded. And like I said earlier, like I like meeting people too that disagree, because then you can have a conversation and find out why they disagree, and they could possibly change your outlook or you could change their outlook. And that to me like is one of the coolest things that we people can do with each other, is we can change our point of views or change someone else's, usually for the better, hopefully. But anyway, so yeah, I'll have another one going tomorrow, probably a little earlier. I know this one was later, but I've been kind of spending the whole day figuring out what I'm going to do next and how I'm going to go about it. So yeah, again, thank you anybody who clicked for yesterday's video. um, if you're going to keep up, if you think you're going to keep up with this, see where it goes. Like just know that when I woke up yesterday, like there's only a handful of you, but like holy hell, man, like I never felt that good in my life before. It's incredible when somebody can just see someone that they've known, they might know a little bit, and just, oh, he's got something to say. Let's see let's see what he's got to say. And I see that as like a sign of respect. So if people are respecting me, then cool. So anyway, yeah, so I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. So yeah, stay safe, and peace and happiness.